In this video, we're talking about the Eloy Justice Court. The Eloy Justice Court is a misdemeanor court in Arizona. It's in Pinal County. We see a lot of people charged with crimes out of Eloy, and so today we're going to tell you a little bit more about the court. We'll tell you about the court's jurisdiction, we'll tell you about the prosecutors who were in charge of representing the government here, and we'll tell you a little bit more about the judge himself. So let's dive into it. When we're talking about the court's jurisdiction, we're talking about the geographic area over which the court has power. What area of land does this court control, or what does it have authority to hear cases over? So if you get charged with a crime inside the court's jurisdiction, the court has power. If you get cited with a crime outside of that geographic area, outside of that land, the court has no authority to hear your case, and that could be an easy dismissal or a transfer of your case to a different jurisdiction. So when we're talking about Eloy, we're looking at a jurisdiction that looks like this. So you can see here the border of the Eloy Justice Court is outlined in yellow. You can see it's highlighted also in purple. The purple highlights are going to be the major freeways that pass through Eloy. The reason why this is important is because the predominant agencies that patrol the Eloy jurisdiction are going to be the sheriff's officers, the Pinal County Sheriff's officers, and the Department of Public Safety, Arizona DPS. They are patrolling these major roadways, and Eloy has some big ones. You can see there the I-10 is going to be the biggest. The I-10 is a major freeway that connects Phoenix to Tucson, and so a lot of people pass through that. A lot of people are going north and southbound on that I-10 there, and they get stopped and cited by DPS, Arizona Department of Public Safety. And when that happens, we see people predominantly charged with one of three crimes. These are the three most common that we see out of Eloy. The first is going to be criminal speeding. The second is reckless driving for people who are going really fast. And then the third is going to be DUIs. Sometimes people will be traveling after a holiday, visiting their family in Tucson or vice versa, and they'll be stopped for DUI. We also see a lot of commercial trucking violations, a lot of CDL violations, commercial driver's license violations, things like driving on suspended license, and regular civil speeding tickets as well. But the three predominant criminal charges: criminal speeding, reckless driving, and of course DUI. So if you're cited with one of those offenses, what happens next? Well, it's going to go over to the prosecutor's office. It's going to be the Pinal County Attorney's Office, PCAO. They are the ones who are responsible for prosecuting crimes, for representing the government. It's not the police officer who cited you who is in charge of that. It's actually another lawyer called a prosecutor who is going to be charging you and running with the case as it progresses. Now, PCAO, it's a bigger prosecuting agency. It's not like a small city prosecutor's office. It's a big county. It covers a lot of different courts and a lot of different areas. And so what they do is they operate traditionally on a policy basis, which means policies are set at the top, and those policies will trickle down, and the prosecutors in each one of these ancillary courts will have to follow the policies. So what that means for you, practically speaking, is that if you go into court and you try to negotiate a good resolution or a good deal on your case, you say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Prosecutor, I've never been charged with a crime before. I've never been in trouble. What can we do to dismiss my DUI case? The fact is they're not going to be willing to do that because that would be against their policy. They have to follow their policy. So it's important you understand that because a lot of people will be kind of blindsided. They'll think, this is my first offense, I should be able to negotiate this out. In reality, it doesn't work that way. If you're over a certain threshold, if you're outside of their policy, they're not going to negotiate with you. They have to follow the policies that are set in place by their boss. This is why it's so important to bring a defense attorney like us in on your case, because we find areas where the police officers or the government, where their evidence is not as sufficient as it needs to be in order to secure a conviction, and we can get them to deviate down from those policies. So if the policies say that the penalty has to be this high, we ask them to deviate and give us a much better deal, a lower reduction or a better outcome in your case. There also is a judge who's going to be involved. There's obviously a judge of a court, and this judge is Brett Eisel, and this is somebody who, Brett Isley is his name. I'm sorry, I pronounced that wrong. Judge Brett Isley is his name. And this is somebody who's been a judge for a little while. He is not an attorney in Arizona. It doesn't mean he's a good judge or a bad judge. It just means that he's not a licensed lawyer like we are, or like the prosecutor in your case will be. He is somebody who is very, very involved in Eloy and the Casa Grande area. He's somebody who is the chairman of the Casa Grande Planning and Zoning Commission. He was on the Casa Grande Municipal Airport Board of Directors. on the Pinal County Community Hospital District, vice president of the executive board for the Central Arizona College Foundation. Very, very, very involved. He attended Mesa Community College, studied finance at ASU. He was in the U.S. Air Force. And so he has been around Arizona and around Arizona communities for a very, very long time. Somebody who is also a licensed pilot and somebody who married his childhood sweetheart. We got that from his bio. So that's very nice. We don't have any bad experiences or any particularly problematic issues out of this court or with this judge. And so we've seen other courts where sometimes we have to call those to attention, but we don't have any issues out of this particular court. So if you or a loved one have been cited out of Eloy, you could be in much worse jurisdictions. You can typically get good outcomes, and the judge and the court staff there will be favorable in helping us to resolve the case. We don't see them being too actively biased against the defense, unlike a lot of other judges. So that's a very good thing. So if you or somebody you know or love has been charged with a crime out of Eloy, give our office a call. We offer free case evaluations. We practice out of Pinal County all the time. We know a lot of the officers, a lot of the prosecutors, and this particular judge in this court. We know exactly how it works. So we'll be able to give you a good helping hand. It's very important that you contact us because there is a lot that can go wrong in a criminal case, and we want to make sure that that doesn't happen for you. Make sure that you have a plan and make sure that this can all go away and not impact you permanently. So as I said, free case evaluations, give us a call. You really have nothing to lose. We look forward to speaking with you soon, and thanks for watching.